Kaz and Mallory.
I'm Gabriel.
I'm Kelsey.
I'm Gina.
And today we'll be demonstrating the lower leg and ankle palpations.
Hey guys, so the first two palpations I'm going to show y'all is for the ATFL and the PTFL. So your anterior talofibular ligament is going to start on the anterior portion of your lateral malleolus, and it is going to insert into the neck of the talus, so kind of like that. And then you have your PTFL, so your posterior talofibular ligament, and it's going to originate on the back or the posterior side of the lateral malleolus, and it is going to insert onto the smaller tubercle of the calcaneus. So it's going to go like that. And then for your third palpation, you have your calcaneofibular ligament, and that is going to originate on the lateral malleolus, and it's going to go plantarwards down towards the calcaneus. So like so. And then for my final palpation, I'll have my patient face the camera for me, please. Okay, so for my final palpation, it's going to be the dorsal pedal artery. And it is in between your dorsum of the foot and your extensor hallucis longus. So it's kind of sandwiched down in between there. And it runs from the anterior tibia all the way down in between your first and second metatarsals of the foot.
Alright guys, so I'll be running you through the next set of palpations. So the first one we have are the peroneal brevis and longus tendons. So to palpate these, we are going to have our patient plantar flex and evert the foot, and so you can see that peroneal tendon pop out right there. So the peroneal longus and brevis tendons are going to wrap around the posterior side of the lateral malleolus, and the peroneal brevis is going to come along, and it's going to insert at the base of the fifth metatarsal. Now your peroneal longus tendon is going to wrap underneath the foot, and it's going to insert on the base of the first metatarsal. So the next palpation we have is the plantar aponeurosis. So we're going to need the plantar aspect of the foot. So this originates at the medial aspect, the tuberosity of the calcaneus, and it's going to splay out into each of the 5 toes. So if you want it to become more prominent, you can have the patient extend the toes, and that plantar fascia pops out. So then last set of palpations I'm going to demonstrate are the calcaneal bursa. So if we can have the posterior aspect of the ankle, please. So the first bursa we have is called the retrocalcaneal bursa, and this lies deep within the ankle. So it lies right in between the Achilles tendon and the dome of the calcaneus. So to palpate, you're going to palpate along the Achilles tendon until you hit the calcaneal bone. And right there between your fingers, you will be palpating that deep retrocalcaneal bursa. Now the next bursa is superficial, and it just lies between the Achilles tendon and the underlying tissue. So to palpate from the calcaneal bursa, you're going to move posteriorly until you are only pinching the Achilles tendon and the underlying tissue. Alright, the next set of palpations will be demonstrated by Gina and Kelsey.
Bye guys!
Hey guys, so I'm going to be taking y'all through the palpations of the ankle. So first off, we have the deltoid ligament. So what you're going to do is grab your patient's calcaneus and evert the foot. And you're going to palpate along the medial malleolus into underneath it. And you're looking for the springy feeling. So Kelsey's is right here. And I'll mark it for y'all with this green little marker. It's going to be along this area right here. And next, so next is the tibialis posterior tendon. And for this one, you're going to have your patient plantar flex and invert the foot, and you're going to create this little space between the medial malleolus and the Achilles tendon, and then along this divot, as close as you can get practically to the medial malleolus, will be that tendon. I'm going to draw it with the pink line for y'all. It's going to be right in there. So next we have the flexor digitorum longus tendon. And for this one, you're going to have your patient flex their toes. So kind of flex your toes. And you can also resist them flexing their toes for this one. But this one's going to be posterior to this tendon right here. So I'm going to draw this one with a dotted line. And this one is easier to palpate along the plantar surface of the foot. So you're going to palpate starting up here, and you're going to work your way down, and it will extend into the metatarsals of the foot. And for my last palpation, I have the flexor hallucis longus tendon. And for this one, you cannot palpate unless it's symptomatic. And to be able to find this, you're going to go in the posterior aspect of the tibia and the talus. So it's going to be right here along this blue line. And you would palpate starting distal to proximal. And that's all my palpations for you
Guys, so the next palpations we're going to be going over is going to be the posterior tibial artery. So this line right here I already have drawn for y'all is the flexor hallucis longus. And like Gina had already said, we can only palpate when it's symptomatic. But the reason why I have it drawn is because the posterior tibial artery runs directly behind it. Then the next palpation we are going to have is the tibial nerve. And like you probably already have guessed, it runs right along the artery as well, but posterior to the artery. Then the next set of palpations are going to be on the anterior dorsum of the foot. And then the first tendon we are going to have is the most prominent and the most medial out of all three. And this one is going to be the anterior tibialis tendon. And you can have it be prominent if you have your patient dorsiflex and then invert. And you can see it popping out right there. Then the next tendon we are going to have is going to be the extensor hallucis longus. This tendon is maybe shown if you have the patient extend your first toe, your great toe. And this tendon actually inserts all the way to the great toe. Then the last tendon we are going to have today is going to be the most lateral out of the three, and it's going to be the extensor digitorum longus. And I'm going to have my patient extend her toes. And the cool thing about this one is that it actually branches off into the 4 metatarsals, like so. Alright guys, so that's all the palpations we have for y'all today, and thank y'all for watching.
Good morning, my jazzercise. I'm so glad you're all here this morning. I know it's bright and early, but I'm ready to get our heart rates up and get moving. So, to get started today, we're just going to do a little warm up. So, we're going to start with the jumping jacks, okay? Here we go. Great.